They paid the ultimate sacrifice.
Abide with me, fast falls the eventide. The darkness deepens, Lord, with me abide. When other helpers fail and comforts flee, help of the helpless, oh, abide with me. Swift to its close, ebbs out life's little day. Earth's joys grow dim, its glories pass away. Change and decay in all around I see. Oh, thou who changest not, abide with me. I fear no foe, with thee at hand to bless. Ills have no weight and tears no bitterness. Where is death's sting? Where grave thy victory? I triumph still if thou abide with me. Hold thou thy cross before my closing eyes. Shine through the gloom and point me to the skies. Heaven's morning breaks and earth's vain shadows flee. In life, in death, O Lord, abide with me. Life in death, O Lord, abide
Built in 1863, this garrison church, or the Army Cathedral as it's sometimes called, has been the center of worship for serving and retired soldiers. Many will have come here to pray before going off to fight. And the church also contains more than 100 memorials bearing the names of those who never came back. Well, one of them, the Somme Cross here, is dedicated to the men of the 1st Infantry Division who fought and died at the Battle of the Somme in 1916. The wood for the cross was taken from timbers found in the ruins of a village in the middle of the battleground. And our next piece of music was written as a remembrance hymn for those who died in World War I. of the best known and bloodiest campaigns of the First World War was fought in the Flanders region of Belgium and France. Hundreds of thousands lost their lives. And on Thursday, Her Majesty the Queen opened a memorial garden at the Guards Museum in London, honouring those who died in Flanders Fields. Andrew Wallace is one of the driving forces behind the creation of the memorial garden.
The idea was first dreamed up about 12 feet from where we're standing at the moment. We had the light bulb moment. Why don't we bring soil back from the 70 battlefields in Flanders where guardsmen fought and died in the Great War? Our immediate problem was that the Commonwealth War Graves Commission have never allowed soil to leave the battlefield before. Tommy is buried where Tommy fell, and Tommy doesn't come home. So we are massively grateful to them for bending their rules once and once only just for this project. We were thrilled that well over 1,000 British and Belgian schoolchildren took part in the gathering of the soil.
The soil was then brought to London with great ceremony. Ray Huggins and Norman Mitchell are Chelsea pensioners and former Grenadier Guardsmen. They were able to visit the garden before the official opening.
Gentlemen, good morning.
How do you do, sir?
Lovely to see you.
We've got young growth growing on top of soil which was saturated with the blood of many a young man. I love the fact that it is a living garden, but not pretty.
It's a great asset because it tells them what people did to ensure that they could have the lifestyle they have now. Wonderful.
In the same way that Christ came down and served alongside us here on earth and eventually laid down his life so that we could be free, it's a very strong parallel to the 4,096 guardsmen who are represented immediately behind me here, who served, fought, laid down their lives for the sake of freedom. The poem in the centre of the garden is John McCrae's famous poem in Flanders Fields. We chose that one, A, because it's a great poem, but it contains a line in it, "To you from failing hands we throw the torch, be it yours, hold it high." For us, that was them passing the torch across to us, and this is us passing the torch of remembrance across to the next generation, reminding them of why it's important that they remember.
In Flanders fields the poppies grow, between the crosses row, that mark our place
I'm surrounded here by serving members of the armed forces, many of whom have seen active service in places like Iraq and Afghanistan. One of them, Major Rob Hoey of the Royal Engineers, tells us about his faith and his life as a soldier.
I've done 2 tours in Afghanistan, so privileged to serve in that part of the world. It's a fascinating place. The job's been very challenging, but it's been some of the most rewarding times I've had professionally to be out on the ground on operations, leading men and doing a task which I believed in. There's a place called Garmsir where the first time we went there, we were very much being shot at as we drove down the main street to get into a patrol base. The second time, that same street had street lights, it was tarmacked, and it was full of Afghan people trading on market day. It was a remarkable difference to see that change and satisfying to have been a small part of that. There's a psalm which both my wife and I hold dear to ourselves often when we're separated, and that's Psalm 139, which talks about where can we flee from the presence of God even when we're far apart. And it says, "If I rise on the wings of the dawn, if I settle on the far side of the sea, even there your hand will guide me, your right hand will hold me fast.